Welcome, professional wrestling fans, to the PW Fan, the ultimate pro wrestling podcast created by fans for the fans. This is episode 149. I am your host, collector, barber, musician, and most importantly, a professional wrestling podcaster. Shout out Cole Cabana. Talk Wrestling, Tim Gilbert.
And I'm your host, the architect of pro wrestling podcast and Funko Pop collector, Booker Andy.
I'm also your host, the No Selling Risk indie fan and football lover, Jeremy.
Okay, before we get started on this week's episode, we kindly ask you to go to youtube.com/the PW Fan Pod, like always, so you can subscribe, like, comment, interact. That really helps us out. For all other social media, all you got to do is look up at the PW Fan, and we should pop up on X, which, to be honest, we don't use very often. We're more active on Instagram and lately TikTok. Andy posts a lot on there. To help us out in other ways, prowrestlingtees.com/the PW Fan, where we have a few shirt designs. All right, Booker Andy, I'm going to pass it over to you. It's episode 149. What do you got for us this week, buddy?
All right, this week on episode 149, we're going to be talking about the 5-year anniversary show for Dynamite. We're going to be talking about the Wrestle Dream predictions for this coming weekend, and we're going to be reviewing Bad Blood 2024 and more. So, you want to just get started, guys?
Where do you want to start this week?
So we're going to start with AEW this week, AEW shows, and ending with Wrestle Dream, and then we'll do WWE straight into Bad Blood. Big show this week. So let's start with Dynamite. It was their 5-year show. Can't believe it's already been 5 years.
Should we also mention, before you go into the show, about their TV deal? Their new TV deal.
So I keep forgetting what exactly the specifics are. If you remember, Jeremy, go for it.
I think it's 5 years this time, and it's $110 million, I think, per year, which is kind of crazy for AEW, but apparently that makes them profitable. I don't know if that's actually true or not, but I'm just saying, like, I think people said by what they can see, it makes them profitable.
And is the TV deal with TBS and TNT, or is it with whoever they're moving to? Because they're done with Bleacher Report, correct?
Yeah, so it's TBS TNT still, but they also are going to be on Max now. And I think starting in the new year, they're going to have pay-per-views on Max.
So do you know what Wrestle Dream is going to be on this week?
Wrestle Dream
is a Triller or something?
Is it a fight? And then, yeah, it's on YouTube as well, because that's where I get them. I buy them now on YouTube.
I hate doing the YouTube one. Because it's like me and Tim can't watch at the same time or anything like that, and it just becomes a mess.
Mess. Yeah, and I forget what other one they are. Another one, but like those are the two major ones. Until the new year, then it's on Max, and then we're good. But I am glad that Bleacher Report is no longer doing it, because that was awful.
Let's see here. So, AEW's website, how to watch. Triller TV, payperview.com, YouTube, and you can go to Dave & Buster's. We'll air at select locations.
Dave & Buster's.
Triller TV, TRI.
Isn't that like a horror one? Like they have horror stuff on there? Or am I thinking of something else?
No, I thought that was that like sketchy pay-per-view company.
So I'm on their website right now. I mean, it looks like you can go back and watch any pay-per-view from any time. I can go to World's End and watch and purchase. It has a 2023 pay-per-view pack, 2022, 21, 20. I mean, it's all on there.
Wow.
Bound for Glory. It looks like the next upcoming TNA pay-per-views on there. So there's a lot of... There's UFC. It looks like a lot of combat sports. GCW stuff's on here. Bloodsport. A bunch of stuff. Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling is on there, which is a Canadian. So looks like there's a lot of stuff. But Trailer TV looks like it took the place of like the Bleacher Report stuff.
Interesting.
So So yeah, the 5-year show opened up with Will Ospreay versus Ricochet, and this match was it was really good. I liked it.
Yeah.
Don't know, me and Tim were watching a WCW match over the weekend after Bad Blood. It was DDP versus Sting versus Kevin Nash versus fuck Goldberg. And I was just like, it was on a Nitro, and I was like, why the fuck is this on a Nitro? And I get it, it gets ratings, but like they're giving away Will Ospreay and Ricochet.
Isn't it? Didn't they? I thought. Oh no, they didn't have a match already before that. I feel like they did.
Not in AEW.
But yeah.
So it ends in a draw. Well, first it ends in time limit draw, and then they give it 5 more minutes, and then shortly after that, Takeshita comes out and attacks both guys.
They've done that many times, like where they have this like dream match or whatever.
Yeah, it's a really good match, and then it just fucking ends this way.
Ends in a draw or whatever.
Hangman
like
and Bryan, or Kenny and Bryan, or
yeah.
So up until then, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I thought so too.
They looked great. Ricochet, I'm liking Ricochet in AEW so far.
Yeah, I still don't like his pants.
No, I don't like it. It's like baggy pants. I liked his.
Yeah.
You know what I liked? I mean, I liked his like tights. I think it was only one time against Brock Lesnar he did the trunks.
Oh.
In
I think so. Yeah.
Saudi Arabia, when he was squashed in like 2 minutes. But I don't know. I'd rather him have the tights like he did. I liked his look in NXT. That was like my favorite.
Yeah, NXT was great.
I hated when he looked like Nightwing from like Batman, and he did like the full black suit with the blue symbol. But because Takeshita got involved, they are now going to have a triple threat with these guys for the International Championship at Wrestle Dream. So
that'll be really good.
Hopefully. After that, so I want to say what I was going to say moving forward before we got into the TV deal is this show. I don't know if they're changing things up with storyline stuff, more story stuff on TV, but this show had a lot going for it. I enjoyed it more than a lot of the Dynamites recently in this past year. I don't know if you all.
Was it last week? I think, or 2 weeks ago. I said that Adam Copeland said they're moving towards more storyline stuff, and that's why we'll see.
Yeah, I didn't remember where I heard it, but I remember hearing it. Maybe it was from you on the pod.
Yeah.
But if they keep going in this direction, I think it'll be good for them. So, moving forward, we had MVP backstage, who last week we said had joined AEW. He gives Mercedes Moné his business card. Then we have Hangman Adam Page attacking the Gun Club backstage before his match against Juice Robinson, who he would defeat. But afterwards, we had a returning Jay White. Finally, so happy to see him back.
I know.
Comes out to attack Hangman Page. It's like the complete opposite. It's I love Jay White and I fucking hate Hangman Adam Page.
Yes.
Jay White looks good. Looks ready. I'm excited for it. Probably get something with them though the next pay-per-view.
I hope he wins because it's like
him before the injury was just like, what the fuck?
He would lose every single match.
Dude, remember he lost to MJF when MJF had like one arm?
Yeah, and he was like hobbling around and everything. And that was
Tim,
awful.
are you a fan of Jay White?
I was in the beginning, but I don't know. I feel like as the booking's gone on, it's kind of flamed out for me. Like in the beginning, I kind of was all bought in because he had the Legend of the New Japan stuff coming in, but now I'm kind of like, eh.
Tim likes Juice more than Jay White, which is crazy.
Yeah, Juice Robinson.
Rock hard, penis, Juice.
Dude, I love the Bang Bang Gang. Big fans of the entire clique.
I like them too.
All right, Britt Baker would defeat Serena Deeb. Keep in mind also they were in Pittsburgh this week, so the Britsburg fans were out. Terrible tells were. I mean, it was not a good week for mine and Tim Steelers last night, but they did lose.
So, dude, I woke up
fun with her.
I was up until like 1:30 in the morning watching that game last night, and I was like,
"Oh, you ended up watching it because you texted me. You're like, I don't know if I'm gonna watch it because it got delayed because of weather. And
yeah,
it
I stayed
didn't start till almost 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
It went till like 3 a.m.
I'm glad I didn't because they lost.
He stayed up till 3 a.m. and then they lost.
Yeah.
No, there's no way they played till 3. They would have played till like 1.
Or 1:30.
No,
Still,
no.
either way.
Tim will have spurts. He'll wake up in the middle of the night and just chill.
I'll tell you. Hey, no. I'll tell you what time.
What,
Yes.
did you text Dad?
Keep going.
All right. Tim's looking. Shelton Benjamin was
The game
seen backstage with...
The game ended after 1 a.m.
All right. So before 3, probably.
Yeah.
That's
Tim
what
tells
you
me to
get.
keep going and then interrupts. Love it.
Yeah.
Keep going. Can't wait
Keep
to
going.
listen.
Actually.
That's why I was waiting.
Shut your
All right.
mouth.
Sean Benjamin was shown backstage with MVP. What are they? Is Hurt Syndicate official or is that just a fan thing? I don't remember.
That's what someone like zoomed in on MVP's card. Like, so they haven't said it on
Hurt
TV.
Syndicate? Okay.
Yeah, but it's
It said
said
Hurt
that on the card.
Syndicate. It's looking like right now because
And
Lashley officially signed.
yeah,
Lashley signed. MVP signed. Look, this is the thing, and I don't blame them for wanting to do this. Is it seem like a rehash of Hurt Business? Yes. Hurt Business, though, was working, and then they stopped.
it was.
It was
Yeah.
working in WWE. It's not like they're like, no, maybe it'll work this time. It was working. They just, I don't know if they couldn't think anything creatively or what. Cedric Alexander is down in NXT doing stuff with, shit. Now I can't remember who he's doing a group with. Oh, Ashante the Adonis from Hit Row. He went back down there. So, but they've been doing stuff together, and he was part of Hurt Business. So now, and obviously he's trying to recruit Mercedes Moné, and he's also trying to recruit Swerve.
Yeah.
I'm in. I mean, I liked it.
I mean,
it was a big part. Tim wouldn't know this because he wasn't watching. It was a big part of the COVID era.
oh yeah, it was. Yeah.
WWE shows.
Yeah.
Because that's when Lashley was champion again, and
Yeah, I was gonna say that was when, like, I feel like it really started going.
Shelton and Cedric became tag team champions. Like it was a big thing.
Yeah.
Now if Swerve becomes a part of it, I hope he's the leader and not Lashley. But
Yeah, Swerve needs to be top.
But I'm excited for it, and you know, the crowd popped pretty loud compared to WWE fans, which is surprising when Shelton came back to WWE.
Yeah.
And then the main event was Bryan Danielson defeating Okada. The first 5 minutes? It was for both
20
championships.
minutes.
First 20 minutes, Okada's championship was on the line as well, and then it stopped. I saw so many memes of like trying to explain the rule. Like
MJF even tweeted. MJF tweeted something. He was like, "I've been reading this for 30 minutes now. I don't understand what the rules are."
Yeah,
that was a good one.
Oh my god. But afterwards, the Blackpool Combat Club would attack Bryan, and Wheeler Yuta would come to save. Talk about more of the tension next week. Or no, it was this week. It was on Collision, I believe. There was some stuff with them. But speaking of Collision, let's get into it. Only a couple things to talk about. Darby Allin versus Brody King at Wrestle Dream is set. Darby threw out an open challenge, and Brody King would attack and take him out.
100% Darby is going to get thrown through something or thrown out of the ring by Brody or something like that.
Just broken.
Yeah.
Britt Baker versus Willow Nightingale is set for this Tuesday. Title Tuesday. Winner faces Mariah May at Wrestle Dream. For the title. Who, in my opinion, her run so far has been very lackluster.
She hasn't really been
people
on.
always like the chase, don't they, Tim?
Yeah.
Fans like seeing someone chase the title.
Normally, I feel like that's happening even now a little bit with Cody.
Yeah. It's hard to maintain that level
of him as champ, or it's plateaued. Like
No, it's just like people prefer the chase to the belt. I mean, it happened to Hangman. It seems to kind of be happening with Cody. Who else has it happened to over the years? I mean,
Seth. Fans turned on Seth.
yeah, Seth during that run in the beginning with the
You know
the
who they
Fiend
didn't?
and all that stuff.
AJ's first run.
Yeah, no, because he was the face that runs the
Unless
pipe.
it was just me and Tim who were like super hyped like the whole time.
He said
But
it
towards
was
the end, it did like fizzle when he was like facing Shinsuke a bunch and like Joe. I don't know.
the face
start
that
to
runs the
kinda fade out.
community.
Gay community?
That's right.
Gain? And then what did we say? Oh, so then there was also some tension backstage on Collision with Wheeler and Claudio telling him to just trust him, and when has he ever let him down? The rumor is, because Moxley's been saying that you think he wanted this, and then commentary's like, who's he referring to? Everyone's like online like, it's Shane McMahon pulling the strings.
Shane.
I'm like, yo, if this is true,
Shane is coming to
I can't
AEW.
wait. Dude,
It's
I
definitely-
can't
it's
wait.
Definitely Shane.
And I hope they pull the trigger on it at Wrestle Dream.
What is? I just want to hear what his music is going to be.
In Danielson match, but
What would his music be?
no
If it
chance.
can't be-
So that
He just uses Vince's song.
No chance.
Crazy. Can you imagine turning on AEW and Shane's cutting a promo?
and then instead of like, you know how like Edge did like the blood in the ring, like Shane does shit and just drops on there.
All right.
All right.
Fine. We're not adding any work for Jeremy this week. Take
No,
it
but
easy.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure his song is licensed. His official song, the "Here Comes the Money," is licensed by WWE. I would assume.
Yeah, because they made that song basically.
I don't know. It probably won't be that different. Or he'll be like, I don't care. I like this song. I'll pay the money for this entrance.
Yeah,
And they do
that's
like an
true.
official.
Well, honestly, like after watching the Vince doc, I feel like I didn't really think that Shane was that
needs
into
to be
it.
in the wrestling business.
Yeah, I did not think he was that, like, I don't know, dedicated, I guess is the word to use to the
think he's
wrestling
been
business.
let down a bunch about it.
I think, yeah,
His
I didn't realize
ideas
that.
And
I think he had ideas and stuff. And look, obviously not all of
Vince-
them were great. There's been a
no
couple
pun intended. Shit on them,
stinkers.
but
All right.
no pun intended too.
My
Oh
You said
my God.
stinkers. I said shit.
Was it his idea to do that underground thing? Like, remember on Raw, it's like the third hour.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the one I'm
he's
thinking of. It's
that.
pretty bad.
Yeah.
He is into that stuff, which is why I also think
I'm
people
not
also
gonna
think
lie,
he's
that
involved
idea-
because
That idea that stinks, but not nice and good. That was a bad.
so people.
idea.
The reason people also think Shane's involved in the Moxley stuff is because they were showing
And he's like, this is
Moxley
old
like,
material.
they were showing Moxley like training in jiu-jitsu, and Marina
Yeah.
Shafir was a fighter, and why like it was really random that Dynamite that they just showed him like training in MMA and like putting
Yeah.
people in submissions, and that's why they also think he's somewhat involved.
And also, the Bucks posted a photo with him, I think, in the last week or two.
Bucks have, yeah. So I
So-
mean,
He's been talking to them.
we'll see. We'll see maybe at Wrestle Dream. But speaking of Wrestle Dream, let's get into the predictions of what we have so far. Not a huge card at the moment, though they do have this week to add more. But
Kind
I
of
don't know
hoping it
why
stays
you-
like this, honestly.
well, if you add more, it's like I don't
You don't
really
need a
know.
4-hour.
It's not a lot of story build you give it if you just all of a sudden get more. But
Yeah,
unless
because all the ones
stories
that
that are
have
already
on
going
there.
on.
Yeah.
So let's go through what I got. Starting with, okay, so we'll start with the possibility of Britt Baker versus Mariah or Willow versus Mariah. So let's just say who wins, Britt Baker or Willow to face Mariah, do you think?
Britt Baker.
You think Britt versus Mariah happens?
Yeah.
Willow's been on like a bunch of pay-per-views. I think Britt needs to get back in the title picture.
Yeah, she hasn't really done much.
I think Britt also. I'm gonna go with
But
Jeremy.
I
So
still
then
think
if
she
we-
loses.
So you think Britt still loses to Mariah May?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like they're pushing Mariah May as like one of the top ones now. They need her
But
to
her
beat.
title run is like an Io Sky title run. It hasn't been anything.
I know. But maybe this
Bayley.
makes it better after this pay-per-view. Like she beats Britt Baker and
Let's
then
say, well, I'll do Britt Baker. I hope she wins, and that's why I'm sticking to it. All right, Darby Allin versus Brody King.
and Darby, he needs a win. He lost to Moxley for his title shot, so he needs that
I'll go
win.
Darby plus Wrestle Dream is where?
Washington.
Hometown kid.
Yeah, his one.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, Darby.
I'll go Darby.
that's why I thought it was gonna be him and Danielson.
All right, forgot to say this, but I'll say it now. Chris Jericho is no longer the Ocho. He's trying to be the Nueve. Mark Briscoe versus
my.
Chris Jericho for the ROH Championship. Mark Briscoe versus Jericho for the ROH Championship.
He
on
wants
TV,
to be
Chris
the
Jericho said,
Nueve.
no way, Chris Jericho said, "You know how I love my TV time." Yes, we do, Chris. And
He literally had the segment called TV Time.
yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Do you think he becomes the new wave? I think they're gonna put it on him because of the learning tree stuff.
I mean,
Dude, I can't wait till he becomes the Diaz.
I guess I'll go with him, but I
He's
hate
gonna
it.
win. See, I don't know how Mark's title run's been because I don't watch ROH.
Yeah,
You
I know
would
that's
think-
kind of
you
that's
would
the
think
hard
I
thing.
watch, but I don't.
Like, do you
Dude,
think
the Nueve
Jericho's
is
gonna
like
bring anyone?
the Nueve is ultimate heel Jericho.
I thought the Ocho was bad, but now he wants to be the Nueve.
It's so much worse in a weird way.
How does he just like? What does he just think of these ideas? Like he has a whole list that he goes through every single night. He's
Chris,
like, this is it.
Chris, I'll be honest with you. I'm a Tito's man myself. I know about the crazy ideas you start thinking of after a few vodkas. I understand.
Is Chris and Tito's man?
I know he's a vodka man.
I mean, he seems like it with these ideas.
If you're a vodka man, you probably like Tito's.
You get a lot of crazy
Yeah, but
ideas.
people-
I understand.
Well, most people put it in a mixed drink, but maybe
not
take shots of
Chris
it.
and Tim.
Not Chris and Tim taking shots of Tito's.
On the rocks.
It's crazy. Just washing it down with a sip of Diet Coke is wild.
He has a Diet Coke right now.
Okay.
Oh my
Next.
God.
Now,
Dude, he takes a big sip and he's like, fucking Nueve. I got it.
he's like, God, I'm the shit.
He's like, he goes to Tony. He's like, I need to become a champion.
All right, this next match, I really don't know where it would go. Will Ospreay versus Ricochet versus Takeshita. The way
Takesha?
I'm going with Takeshita because of the way
Yeah.
things have been going storyline wise on TV. I want Ricochet, but who takes the pin? Ricochet's
Well,
so
if
new.
Ricochet or Osprey win, then Takesha, I think, takes the pin. But if Takeshita wins, Osprey takes the win or takes the pin.
Because of the storyline with Takeshita and Ospreay right now.
Yeah, and then that's also another way of
And then
like
you
Ricochet
protect
didn't get
Ricochet.
pinned.
Ricochet's too new to be getting. That's
Yeah.
why his match with Ospreay also ended in a draw. I feel like
Yeah,
don't pin either one of these guys. Tim, who do you got? Ospreay, Ricochet, or Takeshita?
I feel like I gotta go Ricochet as the sleeper because he's still new and I feel like he needs a big win. Pardon me.
Next we have Jack Perry versus Shibata for the TNT Championship. Don't give a
Shibata.
shit. I'm going with
Pardon
Jack
me.
Perry.
Jack Perry.
Tim, Jack Perry.
Yeah, he's the man.
now
Okay.
it's
Next
the
match.
man.
Next match, I also do not give a fuck about. Young Bucks versus Private Party.
Oh, yeah.
Say Young Bucks.
Dude, Dude, I'm not gonna lie.
Private Party.
Back when we first started the show, and there was that segment of Matt Hardy, and he like called.
It was at the Hardy compound. He's on the roof.
Yeah.
And he's like,
he calls to him. That shit was funny. I'm not gonna lie.
So stupid. So Private Party, I guess they've been pushing him lately. They've definitely been involved in the Young Bucks, but maybe they've been pushing him. But I still think they're Young Bucks.
Wait, what does Matt Hardy say? He says, "Brother something, I need you," or something.
Well, it was Brother Zay, but it says,
Brother Zay.
All right.
It's like, I need you, or something like that. And he starts moaning.
Oh, yeah, because he's like in the distance.
It's like a word for moaning. He's like the something Isaiah. I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I wish I could have or find it, but
yeah, that was a classic.
Yeah.
And then it like echoes. So stupid. Okay, yeah.
We're just I think the three of us are such a product of like fucking early 2000s that any dumb shit like that, I'm still gonna laugh at. It doesn't matter. I told this guy at the barbershop the other day, I said, dude, it doesn't matter how old you get. If I walk into a public restroom and some dude's in the stall just struggling from dear life and he's blowing up, I'm definitely still gonna laugh, dude. It's just like part of life. Like, I'm sorry, it's because we've all been there. That's why I'm still gonna laugh.
Yeah. It's like the same reason why like Joe Hendry is so popular, because like his entrance is so stupid and ridiculous. He just turns around and he claps.
Yeah.
So
Andy
stupid.
looks like deep in thought and trying to find it.
No, I found it. Dude, I'm gonna have to play it over the mic. It's so fucking stupid.
No, can we hear you say it first and then we hear that?
Dude, he's doing it like 5 times. He's like, All right, I found it. God, it's so dumb. If everyone can bear with me. It's like 4 minutes. Okay, here we go. Oh shit. It's on the roof.
Brothers Day.
Dude. So stupid. They said that he just moans in real life and it just became a thing.
He does that in real life? Who does that in like actual life?
He's just in the back room, like, just like
Oh my god. And Tony Khan's like, do that on TV.
Didn't he call him like Orgasmic Isaiah or something like that?
Yeah, that's what it was.
He's like, Orgasmic Isaiah, I need you.
So this is what he said. He said, to be honest, I feel great, man. I didn't think that they would be behind it too much because legit off the cameras, I just moan. I just start moaning out of nowhere. Like, moan. And then he moaned, apparently, in an interview. I moan in my friend's ears. If you watch my vlog, you can see a lot of the menace stuff that I do. I'm a real life menace. And then it goes on and on. He said, I just moaned. Like, it's a tick. Like, I just moan. Like, what?
I just moan. That's what I do.
In people's ears. Like, it's a wild thing to admit. Like,
that is crazy.
The reverb. The reverb is what does it for me. Where it like echoes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm getting sick of the moaning. Main event. Brian Danielson versus John Moxley World Championship.
Danielson, but
Well,
he gets
if he doesn't win, he's retiring. So
yeah. I was
does
gonna
he
say
lose it already and retire in Washington?
no, because I think he. I don't know actually. I mean, I think about it, but I feel like it's still a no, and I feel like he gets.
Do you think he really had all these neck issues from his one match and he's like, I need to call it?
I don't. I feel like he still
Shane McMahon costs him.
has a few matches to go. Because like if they're gonna just debut Shane in this pay per view, I think he has to beat up afterwards, and like Shane then appears or whatever.
I want to
Tim?
say Mox, but I'm gonna go Danielson because I don't think it's time for him to retire yet.
I'll go Danielson. But I don't think it's the end of Mox and Danielson. I don't think it's going to be their only match.
And then there's gonna be another one.
Yeah. That's AEW for you, baby.
I mean, that's true.
Jericho had
And
7
Moxley
matches
wins the
with
next one,
Cassidy.
but then when like how long do you think Danielson goes?
I don't know, at least till the end of the year. How many people have turned this off already? I don't know. So we're all saying Danielson. But that's Wrestle
yeah.
Dream so far. Let's get into WWE this week. Kind of make it quick. It was go-home shows for the Bad Blood pay-per-view. Raw, Jey Uso would open up the show. Braun Breaker would come out. This is off of Jey Uso's win for the Intercontinental Championship. And we saw the start of babyface Braun Breaker on the main roster. He shook his hand, gave him his respect. There was also a tease later on backstage. Breaker seeing Gunther backstage, and during their entire talk, he's just staring at the title. Doesn't mean they're going to face each other anytime soon, but I feel like it does mean like Breaker's headed to the main event title picture eventually. Obviously, I mean, I think he'll be on Mania this year. I mean, he'll.
Yeah, I would think within this next year.
If he won the Rumble, to be honest, at this rate.
They won the Rumble?
I wouldn't be surprised if he's like not one of the last few guys.
Oh yeah,
at least,
I think he's
like,
a part of the last 4
for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, the crowd still loves him. They loved him even as a heel.
Yeah, that's true. He got over
his dog chants.
Yeah.
Which is just a Steiner chant in general, but because they did it to Scott at Bad Blood.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Jey Uso versus Xavier Woods for the IC title was set for next week. We had a really good segment, I thought, with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre inside of the Hell in a Cell, cutting a promo against each other, separated by security guards. The whole tone of it was very serious. Punk basically wasn't going to say anything, he said. But he ended up cutting a little promo, and I'm not going to get into it because
that to me is just how you sell the pay-per-view for like a go home show in that segment.
So I will say now, originally I read that match was supposed to main event.
Yeah, I mean when we get to it, I do want to say that they should have main evented. I know what happened, but I still.
That's why they didn't. Once they found out what was happening, they weren't going to end the show, or they weren't going to put that part in just the opening of the show. It would have to end what happened.
So it was really fuck CM Punk.
It's always that guy just comes in and says,
"Fuck CM Punk."
That guy just walks into WWE and says,
he literally tweeted "fuck CM Punk" on Twitter, and I started laughing.
Maybe that's why he did. It's like fuck you.
Yeah. He's like, you're not in the main event.
Moving forward, R-Truth was back, and the Judgment Day would also later take turns cutting promos after their 6-man tag match against the LWO. Liv would cut one on Rhea. Finn would cut one on Damian. After that, Gunther finally accepted Sami Zayn's challenge. This is once Sami Zayn got personal and started, I believe, talking about Gunther's family.
Yeah. And that match is actually on tonight as we record.
Of course, yeah. We're just putting it on TV.
Another TV match.
I guess I'd rather that than them load up a card like AEW, but
yeah, I feel like there's a give and take to both of the sides of it.
Also, we've seen the match a million times. Even before Mania, we saw their match for the Intercontinental title like 2 times.
Yeah.
Miz, during his tag match with R-Truth, would turn on R-Truth. Karrion Kross, it was against Authors of Pain. He turned on R-Truth. Karrion Kross looks up from this.
We need this. I don't like babyface Miz. We need some.
He's much better as a heel.
Babyface Miz is never good.
Well, Karrion Kross, I kind of like Karrion Kross lately. He was on the side. He's like, I knew it. He's been in Miz's ear backstage. He's been in Xavier Woods' ear backstage, and Xavier Woods is going towards heel, and they're teasing a New Day breakup.
He wears black now.
But he's also being aggressive. He pulled off Ray's mask during their match this past Monday, and yelling at people, and he accidentally cost Kofi his match this past week. We're not getting into like Kofi's match, but he pulled his opponent late or at the wrong time, which stopped Kofi's finisher from happening. What was it called? Trouble in Paradise?
Yeah, Trouble in Paradise.
Yeah. Main event that was Braun Strowman defeating Bronson Reed in the last Monster Standing match. This was just
like, I'm not gonna lie, this was like not bad fun for 2 big guys.
Yeah,
that's what that's why I said last week. I said they've been booking Strowman and Bronson pretty well, and I'm usually not a fan of like the big meat boys going at it, but there was a lot done, and then
both these guys have huge meat, for sure.
Well, that's not what I was.
Okay.
The ring imploded. Was that this week? The ring exploded.
So Andy, you're saying they both got a lot of meat.
I'm saying they have small meat. The ring exploded though, right?
Yeah, it did.
But the reason why he lost is Seth Rollins returned, which we were hoping that he would return to go directly after Bronson Reed and not for CM Punk. I'm like, you can't just forget about the guy that took you out. So he's done visiting football games, I guess, and he gave a stomp to Bronson Reed on the steps.
The weirdest saga of Seth Rollins showing up at NFL games.
Showing up at different football games. So he gave Bronson Reed the stomp, which would allow Braun Strowman to get up in time and left Bronson down, which this is very confusing because Braun Breaker's real name is Bronson, then we got Bronson Reed, and then we got just a whole. I saw a meme, or my friend, I think Corey sent it to me. Instead of Ed and Eddie, it said Braun, and Bronson. And it was like in Ed and Eddie like drawing and like font. It was like them drawing it. Braun, and
That's funny.
It's pretty funny. But yeah, so Seth Rollins' return looks like he's going after Bronson Reed. What is the next pay-per-view? The War Games already?
No, Saudi Arabia.
Crown Jewel?
Yes, because Triple H's huge announcement.
Dude, that's stupid so bad. Also, I love how the crowd like didn't want to be rude, but they like also
they were about to start booing. They're like, ugh.
They were like Crown Jewel, and everybody was like, you could literally like hear the crowd
get to it.
They didn't boo, but they were like,
like rumblings.
Crown Jewel is November 4th. So I assume we're getting Seth versus Bronson Reed. Then they've been booking.
That's
Bronson
what the
Reed
Saudi prince wants.
Now, Braun Strowman tore his groin. He's just been getting injured fucking shit ton lately. He tore his groin during this match.
Yeah.
The real injury. We'll talk in a second about another injury that
Braun
was reported as a work. Injury was reported as a work, and now it is official. It was not a work, unfortunately, for a returning superstar. So let's get into that returning superstar in SmackDown. AJ Styles. AJ Styles returned and cut a promo, kind of about his career, but Carmelo Hayes would come out. basically claiming that AJ wasn't that phenomenal. LA Knight would come out, who's been beefing a little bit with Carmelo Hayes, and we would have Carmelo Hayes versus AJ Styles. And during this match, Carmelo Hayes would win by forfeit because AJ Styles got hurt. It was reported originally by Dave Meltzer that it was at work, and then the next day, I think today, or I read it, it's not a work. AJ Styles is injured.
He's actually hurt. Oh.
Yes.
I'm guessing it's not good. Like, he's going to be out for a bit again.
I mean, I don't know the timeline for that kind of injury.
I mean, if they don't know yet, I guess maybe.
So it says AJ Styles injury confirmed as real. Says injury was legitimate and not part of a storyline. He is scheduled to undergo an MRI to determine the extent of the injury. What was the injury though?
Yeah, I don't think they said that part.
So
but
yeah, Carmelo mocked him for being an old timer,
and then he gets hurt.
yeah, like an old timer. But I can't find out exactly what the injury was. But something with his foot is what it looked like. I thought it was for the fireman's carry into the whatchamacallit? I don't remember what it's called because it looked like his you know what I'm saying, when he flips him onto his knee. It's like a Japanese move. Yeah. What's it called? Stop laughing, guys. Just tell me what it was.
It was just funny, like, he gets like this, and then he does this thing.
Y'all can chime in.
Well, it's like a fireman's carry into like a driver that he does like on the top of his knee, and then it looks like his leg like hyperextended or something.
But it wasn't from that. It was from, when
Really?
he does the backflip off the ropes, and well, he did a backflip over Carmelo, and the way he landed, it like fucked up his foot.
Oh, so they do the fireman's carry spot as like a way to like?
That was after. Well,
I know.
I don't know.
But do you think
commentary was already saying he seemed hurt?
Oh, because I thought maybe they ended it on the fly, like he like ended it like making it look like he like hurt his knee, so that way they could end the match.
No, so he kept going, man, and like eventually, I guess he couldn't. You could see him limping like throughout the match. He kept going as long as he could, but eventually he was on the outside and he couldn't. He limped away, and
those injuries are always like pretty bad because that's just like an impact.
Adam Cole's been out forever for a fucking foot injury. I mean,
yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. His ankle exploded when he hit the ground.
So stupid.
There was nothing left.
All right. Moving forward, so I don't know who was supposed to win that match. I don't know if it was AJ or Carmelo, but Carmelo by forfeit. Michin, I guess Michin is no longer a nickname. That's what they're calling her, not Mia Yim. Would defeat Chelsea Green in a dumpster match. Apparently backstage, everyone was really happy with Chelsea's reaction of being put in the dumpster and all that. I still say, I've been saying this forever, we're getting closer and closer to the hot mess Chelsea Green, but everyone seems to be happy with Chelsea. She knocks everything out of the park, apparently, to them that they give her. And this was just another time they were really happy with how she reacted, her facial expressions, all that, after being put in the dumpster. Fans seem to like her. So, did y'all see the vignette?
Yeah.
For the Motor City?
So Motor City Machine Guns, surprisingly, are not skipping NXT roster and going to the main roster. And I say surprisingly, not because they don't deserve it, but because the casual audience.
Yeah, but also, like, I feel like are different because they're, like, in their 40s, right? Or almost 50?
I was going to say, they're older. They're only going to get so much time.
Yeah.
Well, Alex Shelley, for a little bit, was in NXT and he paired up with Kushida. But Chris Sabin...
Hail Sabin.
Did not. So Chris Sabin is 42.
Yeah.
Which is younger than I thought he would be. And then Alex Shelley's 41.
But also, is that vignette Because I saw something else, wasn't there? For
How
like
are people supposed to know it was them? Apparently, all these people knew. It didn't say anything. It just showed, like, I guess if you knew what Detroit looks like.
Yeah,
It was
I
like a
thought
car
some people said it was
driving.
like War Raiders, whatever.
There was a vignette on Raw,
Oh, that was a different one.
and it was like
Right.
a tree stump with Norse runes burned in it. Ivar was doing solo stuff for a little bit because Eric was hurt, but I guess
Yeah, that's right.
Eric's good to go. So Motor City Machine Guns, it said coming soon. We don't really know when. It didn't say their name, but you're just supposed to assume or know or wonder who it is. But they're going to be heading to SmackDown. Bailey would call out Nia Jax. A fight would break out. Tiffany would kind of tease a cash in, which she would then get caught by Nia doing this. And then in the main event, we had a fun tag team ladder match for the tag team championships, where the Bloodline would defeat the Street Profits and DIY. During this match, the fun part about it is DIY and Street Profits basically teamed up, and it was the only way to take out the Bloodline was for them to come together during the match and put them through tables and all that. So SmackDown, that does it. Let's get into Bad Blood. Straight Fire opening match.
Should have been
Match
the
was-
main event.
This match was fucking sick.
It
I
was
read something
fucking
that
fire, mate. I was putting beans on toast during this match. I was loving it.
beans and toast. I did read that, like, the backstage, they said that this match brought back the feeling of danger
Mhm.
in like in old Hell in a Cells and things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing that they were saying it, like the sense of danger that it brought
It felt
back.
like a real Hell in a Cell
Ryback
match.
had something to say about it.
Yeah,
Did you see
Ryback
that?
did. Yeah.
Ryback.
I forget exactly what he said, but he said something
No, I'll
about
show.
like,
I'll say it. So
yeah,
I got the tweet pulled up. So Drew uploaded a picture of his all the stitches. It was big, but that's his own damn fault for fucking cutting too deep. All
They
right.
said that was a real cut though. Like that was by the toolbox.
Yeah. So it
Wow.
looks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Like not
7,
like him
8, 9,
bleeding.
10. I'm counting 15 staples in his head right now in this picture, and Ryback said, "I've never done this or anything close to this to any one of my opponents. I would say whoever did this to him is beyond reckless and very dangerous to work with." After everything Punk has said about Ryback.
People then replied with that with like the clip of like CM Punk talking about Ryback throwing him off that roof of the car on the table and he missed the table. And he was like, "You have to be a fucking idiot to not do this right."
Just if anybody doesn't know, just go back and watch the Table for Three where Daniel Bryan talks about going to Panera
Ryback.
Bread. Go and
The chicken.
They go to Panera Bread with the Ryback.
Oh
and
yeah.
he gets upset because he's like, "Dude, what do you not have? Do you have salad? Is that all you have? Is you have salad?" And he starts freaking out in the middle of this Panera Bread.
He's like, "I did not act like that."
That's about all you need to know. Tells you everything. And then he also took a Cialis to impress Brock Lesnar.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's right.
Did they mention that on the Table of Three?
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I'm surprised.
Danielson says it.
Yeah, Brian said a bunch of shit. Okay, let's talk about this match as a whole and what went down. Lots of blood.
Lots of blood.
Punk was the first to bleed. He started bleeding when Drew lawn darted him into the side of the cage. Though I rewound it because I was like, man, he threw him hard as shit. Do you remember when I rewound it, Tim? I thought his shoulder, like,
yeah, that did look
went in
sketchy.
really
We were
hard.
nervous. It's funny how we get nervous at the stuff now that like visually doesn't look devastating, but
it's because Punk is brittle.
Yeah.
He's a brittle man.
It's a brittle man.
He's been hurt too many times.
Was that Moxley said weak mind, weak body, or whatever he said?
Yeah.
Mox-
fragile mind, fragile
Mox-
body, or something like
Yeah,
that.
that's what it's fragile.
Mox, fragile hairline, fragile wrestling skills.
Fragile wrestling skills. And then there was a couple times Drew suplexed him off the apron through a table. Me and Tim were like, he guided him really nicely.
I know. I was nervous.
It was a really
literally
nice,
the perfect execution of that. You could not have done that safer.
Yeah, when he started going, I was like, "Oh, they're actually doing the spot," and then I was like, "Oh my god!" But Drew was really trying, like, hold him perfectly like that.
Professional.
Yeah.
So there was a toolbox that was brought out, as Jeremy said, and CM Punk hit Drew with the toolbox. That's what's cut him open. That was the spot.
That's what they're saying. That was a real cut. Yeah, like the
and
steel
so Drew
toolbox.
ended up bleeding like Eddie Guerrero style.
Yeah, it was so pouring.
Yeah.
It was bad.
There was one point later in the match, the ref handed him a rag, and Drew knocked it out of his hand and didn't want the rag. Punk would end up grabbing a wrench and pulling an AEW like with the screwdriver and just like putting it into the forehead. I looked at him and said, "Don't do the AEW. Don't do the AEW."
I was gonna say, I'm like, there's a lot of things they did in this match that I was like, a lot of people don't like in WWE.
They definitely pushed it.
It's a obvious change though to the Vince era.
Yeah, definitely.
Besides the pay-per-view being back in general and the cage being silver.
Yeah.
Which was nice.
It was so much better to watch it.
If I was still there, I'd probably do something more sexual. My third brain would probably come up with something.
Make the cage brown.
His third computer brain.
My third computer brain makes me hard.
Tim, how'd you feel about the silver cage?
What were we talking about? No, I like the silver cage a million times better.
Yeah.
Drew would end up bringing a bag and dumping it, and if you thought it was thumbtacks, you were wrong. It was a bunch of the same color beads as the bracelet, so it was a big symbolic thing. Which I feel like it'd be like Legos and stuff. Like stepping on it and landing on it would still fucking hurt.
Yeah,
like,
I thought the same thing. I was like,
don't have any give.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
And that was when then Drew tried to hit the Claymore the spot after that, right? And he missed.
Yeah, I think he landed on it. So Punk ended up winning. After Drew went for the Claymore, I was like, his lower back hit those steps.
Oh,
you remember that?
I
Tim?
felt that.
Yeah, then
he went for the Claymore
and then the ref grabbed his
Punk
hand.
grabbed the chain.
But the ref grabbed Drew's hand like 3 times and was like, "Squeeze me, damn it!"
And then squeezing it.
I was like, "Squeeze him." I was like, "Tell him that you're okay."
So after Drew hit the steps, Punk would wrap a chain around his thigh, hit the GTS with it, pin him 1, 2, 3. Matt was covered in blood for a while.
It was a good start.
Punk did win this rubber match, and that feud is over as far as I know.
Yeah, it feels like that was such a long feud, but it was really good.
I mean, it was because he wasn't there for most of it.
That's true.
Punk wasn't around. Punk wasn't wrestling.
Yeah.
I did tell Andy after it was over, and I think Triple H alluded to it at the press conference, like, that was like the ultimate end. I think it needs to be over, at least for a long time.
Yeah.
Maybe down the road, in a few years, they bring it out, and they're like, "Oh, remember when we had our rivalry?" But like for now, I think it needs to be done for a while.
Yeah. So that was the bottom of the 9th for that feud, and it's done.
It's like if they had continued MJF and Punk after the dog collar match. It's just like, why?
Yeah.
Right.
There's
nothing else to do.
So yeah, I mean that was my favorite match.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah. I think both guys looked great. Besides the main event, that's probably the match we're going to talk about the longest. Are these 2 matches. After that, a little bit of a cool down match after something like a Hell in a Cell match to open up the show. Nia Jax versus Bayley. I rewatched this match the next day, and majority of the match, if I'm not mistaken, was Nia dominating Bailey, pretty much.
Did you guys like Nia's Hurricane Rana?
When they were on the top rope, right?
And she tried a Hurricane Rana, and it was
Not good.
it was not good.
Not good.
Bailey had to do her best flip impression.
But yeah, most of this match was Nia dominating Bailey. Bailey had some comebacks. Eventually, Tiffany Stratton would run out. Crowd would pop for her. They better pull the trigger on this shit soon.
I know. Like, they're not going to keep cheering for her like this pretty soon.
She almost cashed in, getting... The ref was knocked down. The ref was slow to get up. Nia would set up like The Undertaker.
That was so stupid.
The Nia Taker.
Basically...
Who the fuck is Nia Jax to sit up like that?
The Nia Taker. So Tiffany did not cash in. Tiffany did not cash in. This would kind of distract Bailey and allow Nia to get the win. So Nia Jax would retain. After that, we had Damian Priest and Finn Balor. This was just a normal singles match. I'd forgotten that when Damian first joined the Judgment Day and they were feuding with Finn before he had joined, Damian and Finn had a lot of matches on TV, by the way. But solid match. I mean, the crowd was hot for Damian. Anytime he did something, they're really behind Damian Priest right now. Of course, Judgment Day would get involved, and Finn Balor would end up getting the win, Damian Priest would end up getting the win, even though Judgment Day came out. Then we had Triple H's announcement. Tim was like, is this the Winged Eagle? And afterwards, I was like, look, if it was, it would have been the shitty Winged Eagle where it was just a circular plate and not the wings sticking out based off the shape of the cloth around it.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Yeah, because there was a title already out there.
I'll be right back. I'm parched and I need another DC, our sponsor. Thanks, Diet Coke.
DC Diet Coke. So it was a Jeremy, you had texted us like Triple H apparently has a huge announcement, and everyone
because they were like, he has a historic.
It was like it's historic. I was like, fuck yeah. Either like because they've been talking online about like possibly an Intercontinental Women's or United States Women's, or I was like that would have been better than this.
Yeah, a million times better than this.
Yeah. So, Triple H is out there. There's a belt under the cloth, and then as soon as he was like, "Crown Jewels come above," I was like, "Fuck, this has to do with Crown Jewel, whatever."
Yeah,
it is.
I was like, "No."
So, is it called? So they revealed a title, and the title, I guess, is called the Crown Jewel Championship.
I have no idea even what it's called. I think I only know it relates to that pay-per-view only, and that's it.
So we're gonna have a men's and women's of this title. It's gonna be, it's basically a Survivor Series match. It's champion versus champion.
That's what I thought too, because I was like, well, like Survivor Series now they do War Games, so that I guess that makes sense to do this.
And they already made the poster, so it's Cody versus Gunther.
Yeah,
which is gonna be good.
Yeah,
even him at the end of Cody's first Rumble, he won when it came down to those two. Like that felt like. They were in there long enough for it to be a match, if you remember. Like it wasn't like just a couple minutes of like two people. Yeah. So Cody and they're both like kind of old school wrestlers, so it'll be a really good match, Gunther versus Cody. I don't know who you put over, unless you have Rock get involved or someone.
Ooh,
or Bloodline.
But I do like how Triple H was like. I have no idea who actually wins or what happens to that match, but I like how Triple H was like. This isn't for a title. And he's like, but it's for this title. And everyone's like, I don't care about that title. That literally means nothing.
So with this announcement, Gunther would come out, and they were showing legends that were there. And one of the legends front row was Goldberg. Goldberg's sitting there with his family. And Gunther brought up how he told Brett that Goldberg was his favorite. And then he said he lied about it. And then he started talking Goldberg's son. And he said, hopefully your father's a better father than he was a wrestler. And that ticked off Goldberg. And in the press conference afterwards, Triple H alluded to, you never know, we might get a Goldberg versus Gunther.
I don't know. Do you want to see that though? I'm kind of tired of
I
Goldberg.
think Tim said he did.
I'm kind of in.
Tim was
I
in.
don't know. Gunther was like, when Goldberg was coming to the ring, he was like, I got 3 minutes for you. Come on.
That's it.
Oh my
That's it.
God.
Goldberg cost Gunther the match in Crown Jewel, and you get Cody the win.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not that excited about Goldberg anymore. I don't know.
I'm in.
Well, I guess now we know he's not going to AEW, but
No.
So yeah, that was a fun thing. I saw on that Instagram I show you guys that does the recaps and all that. They do show other things, and it was like 10 times Gunther said some like talking shit, and it was just like all this stuff like talking about like your street trash, your father was a screw up. Like it's just like all this stuff that Gunther has like been a savage about.
Gunther's gotten so much better on the mic too.
Oh yeah. All right, so our next match was Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship, with Dom hanging from a shark cage. This match was, I liked it better than Nia and Bayley if we're gonna go women's to women's matches.
Yeah. The ending did not help at all because it was messed up.
Yeah, did you? Yeah. So besides the match was fine. The match was good. Dom would end up like unlocking the cage and falling out.
Yeah. How did he even unlock the cage? I missed that part.
I missed that too. But he fell out and he was hanging by one foot.
Yeah.
And Rhea looks at the camera and says, "Happy birthday to me." And because he's like a piñata, and starts whacking him with a kendo stick. And during this, Raquel Rodriguez would return, who she wasn't out with injury, she was out with an illness. And she had come back for a little bit during the last Elimination Chamber and had like 2 matches total and then had to like go away. But she's back. She attacked Rhea Ripley, who I think they said is the one that took her out before. I'm not sure.
I think so.
But I read today that she is now a part of the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
So,
do you want to go through how the match ended with her?
So the bell rang. It was a DQ. That's how Liv won, because Raquel got involved. And she gets in, and she does her finisher to Rhea, and the bell's already rung. And then she puts Liv on top of Rhea like it's for a pin, and like it kind of goes flat because we're like, what the fuck? And then Michael Cole or someone on commentaries was like, it's symbolic.
Yeah.
Just like, fuck. It was like, she fucked up.
I think it was like she came in early or something like that, because I saw people were like trying to see what happened, because the ref obviously was not supposed to see her, but then I feel like she ran right in front of the ref, and then it was like you kind of had no choice. But
you think so? You think it was not supposed to be a DQ finish?
Well, if she was naturally putting Liv on Rhea like as a cover, then that makes me think that it was like supposed to be like that, and then the ref comes back in, sort of thing. But she did that, and then she was like, "Oh, fuck, it's already DQ," and then she just lifted her hand up.
Yeah, someone fucked up. All right, let's get into this main event. Wrap up the show. Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns teaming up against the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. Match was fun. I liked seeing it. Roman looked shredded.
Dude, he was really lean.
Yeah, he was lean, boy. So for a little bit of the match, I was like, oh, they're really not going to have Fatu and Reigns touch, but they did.
Yeah.
Asses were thrown into faces really hard in that corner. Like back to back, like Solo and Jacob. I thought it was great to see Roman back. Solo's solid now. Jacob Fatu's. Everyone in this match was great. In the end, the way they got the win was we had a returning, finally, Jimmy Uso would get involved, and get them the win. as revenge for Solo and Tama Tonga taking him out when Tama Tonga debuted. So now we got Jimmy back on SmackDown. Gonna be part of War Games, I assumed. All right, so
Yeah,
it's slowly
he's with
building.
Roman.
We got more. We got Roman, Cody, and Jimmy. War Games is 5 people. We need 2 more though, right? For that side, but we'll talk about the other side. So
Jay and Sammy.
Who got the pin? Roman.
Roman
Gets the pin. All right. And he's walking out with Jimmy, and then Bloodline starts attacking Cody, and Jimmy's like, "You said he had his back," and he's like, Roman's like, "Nah, that was only for that." And then Jimmy's like, "I'll do what you want to do," and then he's like, "Fuck it." And they start running back, and when they start running back, Tim's like, "God, these Samoans are good."
They're damn good.
It's so crazy. Like we talked about before, like, they said, we're just at the bottom, and at that time, like bottom of the 3rd inning or whatever, and at that time we were like, what more can they do? And they keep doing it, and it still looks or feels good. Like when you're watching it, it's still like some solid shit.
It feels
Because
now that
after they
Roman's
beat up
now that Roman's back, it feels real good. And The Rock came down.
not
And I was
just
like,
that Roman's back, not just that Roman's back, because after they beat up the Bloodline, some music hits. The final boss is back, boys.
Final boss.
And he comes out. He's smelling. He throws up the eyebrow.
I was smelling.
And he's just staring at Roman and Cody. And you can tell, though, that like he's not on Roman's side.
Mm-hmm.
And he's coming out with that Rock Championship on his shoulder and a nice vest. So the thought is, like, I don't know when he'll.
There was do you see the video of in the stands of Solo?
So I was going to bring up. So Solo is in the stands, and someone caught it on video, and he's like saying it to one of his guys. He said, "It's all part of the plan."
Yeah.
He said, "It's all part of the plan." So I'm like, "Oh, okay. Rock is officially on that side."
I knew The Rock was
So
going to
if
be on the other Bloodline side, dude. They've been building towards this.
So if Rock is on the Bloodline side, we still need 2 more guys. Are you really Sammy and Jay? Is that really what we're doing?
That's
Jim wants Sammy.
Yeah. Why not Jay? The Usos back?
Well, that would be 4, and then you need Jay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know Tim wants Sammy back on.
I just think it'd be fun
on that side. It would be fun.
I just think that makes sense for like storyline. That's like the most sense of having Sammy and Jay.
Usos. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you get the Honorary Us.
And everyone's feeling Usi again. I get it.
Exactly.
I get it. So Rock's back. Crowd popped huge. That's why that went on last. You can't have The Rock come out after the first match. I get it.
I know, but like, come on.
Triple H says he's like, we're lucky to just have a guy that can just like, or what he said. He's like, it's basically like you have like all these these like main event like special guys that can just like come in and just kind of take over. He said The Rock comes and goes as he pleases. After the show, though, it was shown on like hidden video kind of thing.
This was
Kevin Owens would attack
so cool.
Cody in the parking lot, and beat him down. So we knew Kevin was getting frustrated with Cody.
Do you know what's so cool about that though? WWE didn't have any cameras there. Like there was no production. They relied on the fans to record those videos.
It was those fans hanging down, like waiting for wrestlers to leave.
Yeah. And then went and did that spot there. I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah, they knew that shit would go viral once.
Yeah.
And then they just picked the best one to show on their Instagram and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you could have Goldberg interrupt the Crown Jewel match and attack Gunther, or you could have Kevin Owens interrupt.
That's true.
So, yeah. I mean, overall show, no matter how you felt about the matches in between, the first and the last match were fantastic. Everything that happened. I enjoyed the pay-per-view.
I thought it was very good.
I thought it was
really
Dream this this
I
weekend.
thought it was really good overall too.
Yeah, me and Tim had a good time watching it. Jeremy, you said you enjoyed it. So that's the show, guys. I'm excited to see where it goes from here. What does The Rock do? Does The Rock keep coming weekly? Does he only show up a little bit? I mean, we'll find out Friday. I'm sure some stuff's going to happen on SmackDown on Friday.
I do have a classic show of the week just because it's something that Andy and I recently watched together, and we've actually watched pretty much the full show over a few weekends without realizing it. But okay, so classic show of the week is you want to boot up Peacock, go to the WCW section, click Nitro. Excuse me. And you want to go to April 26th, 1999. In the episode of Nitro. So let me go down the list here. This is a time where WWE had started beating WCW again.
Is this what we watched, Tim?
Yes. So WCW at this time was really throwing everything against the wall to try to combat the ratings slipping. So you got Conan versus Bryan Adams. This is a Nitro, so this is their version of Raw, if you're young enough to not remember Nitro. So Conan versus Bryan Adams, Scott Armstrong, and Steve Armstrong against Raven in a handicap match. Then, third match of the night, you got Sting and Diamond Dallas Page for the WCW Championship. And they go 20 minutes. And Andy and I have watched this match, and it's really good. Then you got WCW Tag Team Champions Rey Mysterio against Psychosis. They were it was WCW Tag Team Champion Rey Mysterio against the Cruiserweight Champion Psychosis. Bam Bigelow versus Eric Watts. Booker T versus Ming. Brian Knobbs versus Horace Hogan and Mikey Whipwreck. Scott Steiner against Randy Savage. All these are happening on a regular Monday night, by the way. And then
this is crazy.
Yeah. And then this is the one where Andy said, how are you giving this away on free TV? Then the main of the night, you already had Sting and DDP earlier in the third match. Then the main event of the night for the WCW Championship is DDP against Sting, against Goldberg, against Kevin Nash. And then Randy Savage comes out later. So, I mean, yeah, that's just a regular night of the week. So, classic show of the week, April 26, 1999, Monday Nitro. Thank you all joining us for episode 149, and we will be back next week with episode 150. Go enjoy some pro wrestling and have a great week, everybody. Thank you.